This is what you're here for, Doug. This is what you're supposed to be doing. You created this YouTube channel because you wanted to change lives. You wanted to do something good for others. So let's do something good for others. Today, we're going to make an argument on behalf of Jesus Christ. Picture this, a story so compelling that over thousands of years, millions have chosen to stand by it, even when doing so meant facing persecution, loss of family and friends, and even death. This story doesn't just inspire fleeting emotion, it moves people to sacrifice everything they have simply because they believe it to be true. Now, consider the possibility that this story could be a lie. Would so many intelligent, diverse people across generations willingly give up their lives for something they knew to be false? I find that harder to believe than the idea that the story of Jesus and the Bible that tells it holds a profound, life-changing truth. Let's explore why this is worth our attention today. From the apostles to modern-day believers, history is filled with examples of people who chose death rather than renounce their faith in Jesus Christ. The early Christians faced brutal torture, crucifixion, and execution in the Roman Colosseum, yet they stood unwavering. The disciples themselves were no strangers to these consequences. Peter was crucified upside down. Thomas was speared in India, and others faced similarly harrowing fates. These were people who walked with Jesus, saw him, and believed so strongly in his resurrection that they would rather die than deny it. So consider, if you were part of a made-up story and knew it was false, would you really be willing to die for it? Probably not. Most people would confess a lie to save their own lives. The willingness of countless people to face death implies that they were utterly convinced of the truth they knew. The Bible, written over 1,500 years by over 40 different authors from different backgrounds, consider they were shepherds, kings, scholars, and fishermen, maintains a remarkably consistent message. Despite its many contributors, the story of God's love for humanity, the prophecy of the Messiah, and the teachings of Jesus harmonize seamlessly. Lies tend to get tangled over time, with contradictions and discrepancies emerging as they evolve. Yet, the message in the Bible has remained cohesive, unwavering, and relevant across centuries and cultures. Consider, a simple lie usually doesn't withstand time or scrutiny. When generations test it, it breaks apart. Yet the Bible story remains intact, embraced and studied by billions. And that kind of consistency is rare and points to a truth far deeper than a simple tale. The teachings of Jesus are more than just words on a page. They have changed the hearts and lives of millions throughout history. Prisoners find hope and redemption, addicts break free from lifelong chains, and ordinary people discover purpose and peace. This transformation isn't momentary. It often lasts a lifetime. Consider the story of Saul of Tarsus, a man who once persecuted Christians, but had an encounter with Jesus that radically changed him into Paul, one of the most passionate advocates for the faith. This is not the impact of a mere story. It is the power of truth. And if you consider, lies can deceive, but they don't transform lives for the better in the long run. People may fall for false promises temporarily, but only something real and profound can lead to deep, lasting change that spreads from person to person over millennia. And the story of Jesus has touched people in every corner of the world, crossing racial, cultural, and socioeconomic divides. From underground churches in persecuted countries to megachurches and free societies. People who have nothing else in common find unity in the message of Jesus. And this wide acceptance defies the logic of a man-made fabrication, because lies often appeal only to a specific audience or die out when they encounter diverse perspectives. But the gospel has grown stronger. And if you imagine a lie told in one small town, it may be convincing there, but will it resonate with people across the globe in different cultures and times? The fact that the Bible does speaks to its universal truth. And history is filled with stories of people who recant lies when faced with consequences. Even the most dedicated followers of causes have changed their minds when their lives were at stake. Yet the early Christians, the apostles, and even modern-day martyrs did not deny their faith, even in the face of torture or execution. The natural human instinct is self-preservation, yet for these people, the truth of Jesus was worth more than life itself. This is a powerful testament to the fact that they truly believed what they professed. Now, think of someone caught in a lie. Most will admit to it when pressured, especially when faced with severe consequences. Now imagine thousands refusing to renounce their faith, even when it costs their lives. This defies the logic of a fabrication. So, where does this leave us? The idea that the story of Jesus and the Bible is a fabricated lie requires more faith to believe than the reality that it is true. The sheer number of people throughout history who have been willing to suffer, sacrifice, and even die for this belief points to an undeniable power in the message of Jesus Christ. This is a story that outlasted empires, withstood relentless scrutiny, and changed lives beyond comprehension. So, as you reflect on this, ask yourself, what truth would you stand for even when everything is at stake? For millions, that answer has been Jesus Christ. And whether or not you are ready to believe, it's worth pondering why so many have chosen to stand by this story, even unto death. It's a huge question. In the end, could it be that this is not just a story, but the greatest truth ever told? Take it from someone who used to be more like Saul than Paul. This is something that transforms lives, and it's worth your attention. Follow me. Let's talk more about this. I post daily and am sharing the New Testament and trying to help in ways that I feel that I can. I'll be honest with you, though. The conversations I'm having every day are helping me more than anybody else. And my life is a representation of the fact that this really does change things and people. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a beautiful day, friends. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.